What's going on, my co-creators? How you doing today? What's happening? What's happening? Trying to get this all lined up and right for you. Anyway, today I want to talk about. I guess it's a blessing and a curse. As human beings, we have the extraordinary ability to adapt to situations very quickly. I mean, if you want to look into history books or whatever and look at how humans adapted to certain environments, I mean, it happens, pretty fast compared to other species. I mean, we can adapt within a generation and have a whole different thing going on, and species can take, hundreds, thousands of years or longer than that to adapt to their environment. That's one of our advantages. But there also is a disadvantage to that, especially what's going on right now with all of the regulations, the rules, the suggestions from the authorities, and all these people that just know what's best for everything, and we just take it hook, line, and sinker. Like, oh, I guess that's right. Okay, yes, no problem. I'll do whatever you say. We adapt to this lifestyle so easily. It's kind of scary, and the people that's in charge of the people that's in charge, the people in charge of them, they understand that about us. They understand that they can push us. As long as they don't push too much at one time, they know that we'll just be like, I don't like it, but okay, I guess it's fine. It's for my safety. Man, side note, if I live my life worrying about my safety all the time, I would be broke, disgusted, sick, scared, aggravated, and down in the gutter somewhere. So being safe and sorry is not the smartest thing to do. But anyway, I digress. Kinda. All I'm saying is that we adapt way too easily, and there's people that understand how easily we adapt, and they take clean advantage of that. That's how they operate. They see how far they could push you. Then they say, you know what? Okay, I didn't know we could get away with that. Let's go a little further and see what else we can get away with. That's how people operate, and you know, it's just the system that they work within. Everybody's always trying to get power. Everybody's trying to get their group ahead, become this supervisor, or put my agenda forward because I got people that's relying on me. It's all groups and fighting against each other. So with people fighting against each other, we're just left with the outcome, the scraps. And because we adapt so easily, we accept change so easily, we don't fight back, we don't push back at all. And pushing back doesn't have to be anything violent or anything like a revolution or anything like that. All you gotta do is by pushing back is just be like, no, I'm not doing that. Okay, have a good day. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. It don't have to be anything crazy, it have to be anything out of hand, out of control. All you gotta do is just say, I'm not doing it. That's all you gotta do. And some reason we feel like that we don't have any control. If everybody just say, no, I'm not doing that, and it'll be peaceful, well, I guess we gotta try something else. But they figured out, the authorities, the people in charge of the people in charge, they figured out that we can be manipulated. They figured out how to keep pushing us inch by inch and using all type of tactics, fear and everything, especially what's going on right now. They're definitely taking advantage of the situation by having more control over people. That is definitely a part of this. I'm not saying that what's going on isn't real. Whatever you want to believe that. But do believe that there are people that take advantage of situations like this. And right now it's happening. And it's so weird. It's like I walked into the store the other day. I was in a rush. I was going to get something. And I happened to walk in there. And I was probably like the only one in there without a damn dog muzzle on my face. I was the only one in there without the damn silencer on my damn face, covering my damn face up. And people were looking at me like I was like an outcast. Like, oh my God, look, he's not covered up. I was like, damn, this like maybe 2 months ago, I would have been looked at as an outcast if I had a damn dog muzzle on my face. And now I'm being looked at as an outcast. It ain't even been 2 months. That's how quick we adapt to this crap. It's crazy. And I'm not telling you to not do what the hell you want to do. You're free. Do whatever you want to do, but you should have that choice is what I'm saying. Have that choice. We have a lot of choices we have that affect other people in our lives every day. That damn car I got, matter of fact, I got a couple of cars that I drive, and those things are extremely dangerous to other people every day, but I digress again. All I'm saying is that all of a sudden, within less than 60 days, I'm an outcast. I'm just running the store to get something quick. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot my dog muzzle. Now I'm an outcast. It's weird. And I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, if I was in an establishment, if I was in a business and I was sitting in there at a restaurant and if I seen like 3 or 4, I'm gonna say young men, because young men can be very aggressive and dangerous. We all know that. I used to be one, so I know. I'm just telling you for myself. If I saw 3 or 4 young men walk in the store with masks on their face, I'll be like, oh damn. I'll be on alert, like, what's about to happen here? I'll be terrified, like I gotta do something, like what's gonna happen? We're about to get robbed. Now, less than 60 days later, you can walk in the store, everybody got masks on, and that's a good thing now. This a couple of months ago was a terrible thing, now it's a good thing. We adapt way too easy. It's freaking weird, man. We need to really pay attention. I mean, it can be good to adapt to things, but at the same time, it can be bad. I mean, we've all known or ourselves been through certain kind of abuses in our lives or raised up in some weird situations, and we got used to it and it became normal, even though we knew it wasn't right. Something was off about it, but we adapted to it and we lived our life. So there's good and bad. I mean, sometimes you have to adapt to your environment because it's how you evolve. But in this situation, it's kind of tricky because, like I said, there's people that's taking advantage of that. And the more that we adapt, the more that we just say okay and go along with it without no choice. You get penalized. You can be all type of bad things can happen to you if you don't adapt to the authorities' rule just like that. You have no choice. That's not actually a good thing. And one thing I worry about a little bit, a lot really, is the traumatic effect that this is going to have on sensitive adults. I mean, there's people that are extremely, like germophobic people. They already like nervous about being around people and being social and touching things and touching people and all that stuff. And I've seen, people like that in my life. And I've seen TV shows of people that they won't even go outside because they're afraid of something, getting on them or them breathing in something and they dying or being grossed out or whatever. And I know that's a small amount of people, but with this situation going on, that group is about to grow exponentially. And also probably worse than that is these kids. Like, there are kids that are, let me say, probably a little more sensitive than others. I was a sensitive kid, but I wasn't to the point where I was like neurotic, where I was afraid to be involved with stuff or afraid of people. But I was definitely, probably a little more sensitive than some of the kids I knew. You know what I'm saying? But I grew out of that as time went on. I turned that sensitivity into empathy, and now I use it in a constructive way. But just imagine the little neurotic little kid that may not have like the best surroundings around him. And now they're being told that there's this invisible boogeyman that they can breathe in. If they touch anything, they're going to die. Just imagine what that's doing to these kids psychologically. And then you got these parents walking around and they're reacting and they're looking like surgeons, health experts with surgeons gloves and all this crap on. They walking around and the kids are watching them. The kids are watching their parents and they're reacting to how their parents react. And I remember when I was a kid, if I felt a little uncomfortable about something, if I was somewhere and I felt a little uncomfortable, the first thing I would do, I would look at my dad and see how his reaction was. Or I'll look at my mom and see how she react. And I would kind of adjust my reaction to how they react. They're just my examples. I'm like, okay, they're here to protect me. It was instinctively, I just knew to look to them. But now, you're seeing these grown I keep talking about men because it's disgusting some of the stuff I've seen here lately. I mean, I'm totally disgusted by some of these men I've seen here lately, just acting like cowards, afraid to breathe the air. It's like, what? What are you here for, guy? What are you here for? It's ridiculous. I'm not talking about being, foolish and being reckless with your life and doing crazy stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just being a man and being like, you know what? I'm not walking around afraid. I'm not doing that. I got to be an example for people around me. I got to be an example for my kids. I got to be an example for my nieces, my nephew, for anybody watching me. I'm not going to be walking around here. I've seen some things that just make me want to just puke lately. I mean, I only can speak from a man's point of view. I can't speak for women or anything like that. That's all I can speak for is me. And this is my opinion. I've seen some really cowardly things going on, and it's ridiculous. And I'm thinking about the kids that are watching them, their parents, and how those kids going to be. They're going to be afraid to even go out and ride their bikes or go out and meet a friend. Oh, don't come within 6 feet of someone. You know what kind of crazy, traumatic, psychologically screwed up kids that's going to be coming out of this, and that's going to be their norm because kids adapt very, very quickly, quicker than us, really. And so just imagine that. And I hate to be so negative, but it's really real, and we really need to pay attention. And there's going to be a lot of other changes that's going to happen slowly but surely. I mean, some people, they're like, oh, I can't wait things go back to normal, but it doesn't work like that. We're going to see a lot of changes that's going to happen slowly. And if we don't stop it, if we don't stand up and say, okay, I'm not accepting this, I'm not willing to live like this, I'd rather not live instead of live like this. If we don't start to stand up and say, okay, this is too much. And once again, not saying that situation isn't real, that people don't need to take certain precautions, not saying all that, but there has to be a limit to how far you go, how much you take. And it's going to be a slow grind. Watch, you'll see. You'll start to see like certain places where you can't go into unless you have the vaccination, which I call it, unless you got stuck with the yuck. I'm gonna start calling it. Unless you got stuck with the yuck, or you can't join this gym. You haven't been stuck with the yuck. You don't have your card. You'll be like, okay, I'll just go to another gym. And you'll go to the other gym and it'll be cool. But then over time, the other gym will have pressure from different groups or whatever. Next thing you know, you might be able to attend, but you got to pay like an extra $50 a month because you ain't been stuck with the yuck yet. And the same thing will happen with different airlines and stuff. You're going to go to fly on an airline. You're going to be like, well, damn, if I choose not to get vaccinated, because some people don't agree with it, whatever, that's up to you, whatever. Some people don't want to be stuck with the yuck, and they might say, okay, you can't fly this airline. Okay, I'll go to another airline. The next thing you know, you got to pay $500 for not getting stuck with the yuck. And then over time, within a year or two, it's going to start to grind down where you're going to be stuck in a box where you're going to have to get stuck with the yuck in order to do stuff. And then we're gonna slowly get used to that. Them controlling what we do, where we go, how we live, what we're allowed to do, and then the kids that's right now, they're going to be used to the control too. And then about 5 years from now, you're gonna look back and be like, damn, what the hell happened? We let this fear give away all of our freedoms. And that's how it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen slow, and it's gonna be a grind, and they're gonna be like overnight, and then. I feel sorry for like people that's in the military, people that's in law enforcement. They're gonna have to make like a really tough choice because they're gonna be told to impose some laws and do some things they don't agree with. But I got a feeling that within the next year and a half, 2 years, you're gonna start seeing incentives for people to join the military or be serve in police forces. Which all due respect to them, I'm not hating on them. I'm just saying you're gonna see incentives almost double within the next year or so because they know, the authorities, the people that's greedy for power and control know that it's going to be difficult for these officers and these people that's serving to enforce these rules. And so they're going to have to make their lifestyle like totally different from ours. Like we're going to have a certain level of life. They're going to have like privileges out there. Wazoo. You're going to see like benefits in this different benefits and different I guess amenities is the word I'm thinking about. Going toward these careers, just almost double. You'll see. But I'm not trying to be all doom and gloom. This doesn't have to happen yet. And also, there's another thing, like in certain industries, I'm seeing like certain people have been allowed to have a foothold in certain industries right now that wasn't allowed in the past. And the only reason why that's able to happen right now because some of the powers that be are planning on doing there's some changes coming. And when it's almost like when your business is going out of sale, everything is easy, everything is free. Just like the money they're giving away now, if they're giving away all this money, they're printing or adding all this money to the economy digitally, that's lowering the value of the dollar every single moment. So just know that anytime it's like all this windfall, oh, I'm getting this, I'm getting that, the value of the dollar is going down. And you're seeing people get into industries where they weren't able to get into in the past, like Hollywood and stuff like that, and they getting their own foothold, just know that the value is going down. That means that the whole situation is about to flip on its head. I'm just telling you what I know. Anyway, but it's not over. We can still slow this thing down or stop it completely. We just have to wake up and start taking personal responsibility and stop trying to cling on to our lifestyle that we love so much and be willing to risk it all for our freedom. And don't fall into the trap. Don't fall into the catch-22. All right, my co-creators, once again, I know I went a little long, but I had to say that. I hope it's all positive at the end. We are in control of this thing because we are the majority. Remember that. We are the majority. We can change everything overnight. Remember that. Go outside, sweat for like 30 minutes. Just get out there and walk around, whatever. What else? Meditate. 10 minutes meditation every day. Just sit there and just think about nothing. Just find a quiet spot. Turn off the news, turn that crap off. It is melting your brain, and leave your cell phone at home sometimes. Just leave it at home and see what happens. All right. I love you. Co-creators. Talk to you later. Bye.